I have a feeling that you guys are not gonna like my take when it comes to this video. On the lowest of keys, I am kind of like this, but it makes me feel good to know that my partner is being taken care of. I want to be that release. I want to be that person that makes your day better. I get happiness out of making other people happy and doing stuff for other people. Y'all gonna drag me for this video. Hey everyone, it's Bree. Welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another reaction video, and we're gonna be reacting to this video that has literally taken over the internet for the past week. I initially saw the clip on Instagram, and that small clip had went viral when everybody was talking about this, and now not the full episode, but there's a bigger chunk of this podcast episode from Shan's podcast that is now up on her YouTube channel. So I am going to watch this whole thing to get a little bit more context to what this person is talking about. I've never even heard of this person until this podcast went up, but as you can see, her name is Jasmine Brown, and apparently she dates like an athlete or something. Hold up, let me look up and see who she dates, because people were talking about him too. Hold on. Yeah, she dates Cam Newton. Again, I don't know who these people are, but I do know that the context of this whole thing is them basically talking about I guess relationship dynamics, and for her, she believes in fully catering to the person that she is with. And the clip that had went around was her basically saying that she likes to baby her man and she likes to do everything for him. She'll, pack his bags and unpack his bags and do everything like that. But then at the end, I think she briefly said that sometimes she does feel drained from doing all of that, but it still brings her fulfillment. And I actually low-key relate to what she was saying a little bit, and I have a feeling that you guys are not gonna like my take when it comes to this video. But I'll of course be expressing my thoughts as we get into it. But yeah, let's hop right into the video.
When you genuinely care about someone's rest and you care about if they eat, I think that's just, I don't feel like it gets more submissive than that, where it's like you're taking yourself out of it. But like, as far as like the closest love I think of having a child is like the love I feel for my partner. And it's scary for me to think that it'll change once I have a child.
So in your romantic partnership, you baby, you are a servant to, you are a lover, you want to be a step ahead. Why are you laughing?
Because it sounds insane.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, her saying that she's like being a servant to because also that's her. So Cam Newton is her boyfriend, I believe. I don't think they're married from what I saw online. But yeah, servant is a little much. I think there's a difference between being submissive and being a servant. But I guess based off what Jasmine said in this video, Shan got the vibes that she's being a servant to her to her boyfriend, but we'll see.
Cause I know it is my words, but it sounds crazy. I know.
I don't know why you're feeling away.
Why? What do you mean? Look at you.
I should be nervous.
No, why?
Because if I ask stupid questions, if I step on your
Never.
toes.
Never. I'm so nervous because I'm like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna unravel today? Even though I know that everything we talk about is gonna be needed for people to hear, especially from me, because you said I would never think you would be like that.
I would not.
And it's interesting to me.
So, you know why? Because what I know of you is you've always been a hustler. You've always been a boss. You constantly reinvent yourself. So that's what I said. My first and foremost comment to you was I've known about you for over a decade now.
Oh, thank you.
That to be said, my perception of you has been like career oriented, me first, not in a negative way, but like kind of like the person who's like, I'm no good to you if I'm not good to me.
Yeah. And it's interesting you say that, me first. I'm not even like that. I think that it seems like that because of how I hustle, but even when I hustle, it's not even for me.
All right, so let's bring it back to the basics. What is the art of being submissive?
First step is get with somebody who wants what you have to offer. I think love and
that that is true. Because I know, like, you know, a lot of people say, a lot of women, you know, their whole thing against being submissive is just the fact that, like, the men in their lives don't appreciate what they have to offer, and they don't value what they have to offer, and so they just are like, you know, if you aren't going to appreciate what I have to offer, I'm just not going to offer it to you. And I think it is important that if you are someone that is like that and likes to be submissive, then finding someone that you feel like is worth that, you know what I mean?
Submission is a tailored fit. It's not a one size fits all. So I can only tell you what it means to me. Now for me, it's complete selflessness. I am satisfied in serving. I'm a servant, and I watched my mother serve all my life, you know, and it was rain, sleet, or snow. I think we talked about this on the phone. My mother's love for my father wasn't conditional. It's not my responsibility, but
it's your joy.
It is my joy. You know, I love to see him eating the meal that I cooked. I love seeing him sleep easy. Like every night, like clockwork, I scratch this man's back to sleep.
Okay, hold up. Before we get into that next part, because I kind of wanted to pause it right there. Okay. y'all are gonna drag me. Y'all are going to hate my opinion on this, but I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I'm kind of this way, low key, on the lowest of keys. I am kind of like this. Cause I'm a very giving person. I like to give. I like to make people feel good. I like to make people happy. And that, like she said, that brings her joy. And that's kind of the same way with me. I like to take care of people, not just in relationships, even in friendships. I just like to take care of people. I like to make sure that people are okay. I like to make sure that people are good, even if that means that I have to bend over backwards to do that. And I can understand from her perspective of, like, you know, granted, we're like 2 minutes, like 3 minutes into the video, but you know, the way that she's like, you know, I like to see that he's eating a meal that I cooked. I like to see that he's sleeping peacefully. That's kind of how I am as well. Like, you know, like if I'm with somebody, like their well-being means as much to me as my own well-being. And so, you know, I'm that type of girlfriend that's like, you know, I want to make sure that you're fed. I want to make sure that you're never hungry. I want to make sure that you're sleeping peacefully at night. Like, I just like to do that. Not because I feel like I have to or because I feel like I owe that to them, but it makes me feel good to know that my partner is being taken care of. And so I can see why she's like that.
And I know when he's asleep because I can tell when his breathing changes. And some people might think that's psychotic, but that's like, I just know that's when I'm like, oh, I can stop now. But I find joy in being your rest. And
okay, sorry, I keep pausing the video. I can relate to that as well, like, you know, wanting to be someone's peace. I feel good about that, you know, like I enjoy being someone that, you know, when they, you know, come to see me or whatever, like they feel at peace, they feel like they can, you know, let their guard down.
Shouldn't be conditional.
A part of that lack of conditions too means that you do your duty joyfully regardless of what's being done for you.
That's it. I do my duty joyfully regardless of what is happening to and for me. You know, now some days I might be more cheerful than others because I have my own stuff going on. You know, and there's times where it's like, I don't even want to say what's going on with me because, again, I know how to deal with me and my pain. You know, I'll cry in the shower and keep it moving, you know. But in the art of submission for me, because I can't speak for
okay. Now that I don't necessarily agree with, you know, her dealing with her emotions on her own. I do think it's just as important that if you're an emotional support system for someone else, that you have that in return. And that's something that I've learned a lot about myself in recent months. That, you know, even though I do feel joy in being there for other people, I do require that in return. And when you don't get that in return, you just start to feel very depleted because it's like, you know, you're taking on everyone else's emotions, but then, you know, who's there to pick you up when you're down, you know? And I think that that's you know, important to have
for everybody is being joyful about it. You know, it, that want of, and I think not even just a want, the power of knowing that you have the power to make someone's day better. And that's a choice.
And easier.
Yes, better and easier. That's a choice that you have to make. I always make the choice to do it. I like to give. I like to allow my person to lead. They know, especially like when it translates in the bedroom, I like to feel dominated. You know, riding dick ain't always my favorite position because I like to be taken advantage. Oh my gosh. No, I don't like to be taken advantage of. I like to feel.
That's okay. I like to be degraded.
Yeah.
Those are languages that I like and I accept.
I do. But if I'm comfortable and if I trust you. So just know what that means. Know that dance with your partner. I think of relationships and submission and being submissive is like, it's like an 8 count. Know that dance. You better know that 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, dishes clean. 2, laundry. 3, if you have a long day and you fight in the world, you will never come back and fight me. You would never come back and...
That's the thing, like... Because, you know, people make that joke about, like, oh, being a man's piece. But no, like, it's true. Like, y'all gonna drag me for this video. But no, that's just naturally how I am. I don't know if that's just because of how and where I was raised. But actually, that's not even how I was raised either. I'm just like that. Like, I'm just like that to where, like she said, like, if you've been fighting the world all day, when you come home to me, I want to make sure that you don't have to fight me. You know, I want to be that release. I want to be that person that makes your day better and makes your day, you know, like if you're having a really bad day, like I want to be that person that heals that and fixes that, you know? And I get personal enjoyment out of that. And so I can relate to that as well.
Walk into a space that is not welcoming you. Mm-hmm. You know?
Do you think that this is controversial in some capacity?
Absolutely. To some, it could be enabling. You know, and someone told me one time, they're like, you're enabling him. And I told him how that made me feel. And he was like, of course they're going to say that. They don't have nobody doing that for them.
How did it make you feel?
It made me feel like maybe I am. But at the same time, that's my love. So if you don't understand it, you know, I'm not loving on you for you to get it. That's how I love. And whoever I love is going to get that benefit.
Yes.
There was a time where, you know, women needed men for everything. We couldn't even open up a bank account, you know? And now it's like women are really in their bag where they're like, I have my own business. I'm doing this. I don't need a man for nothing. Like basically, like, can I be frank? Like I don't need a nigga for shit. I don't, you know, and I can say those words, but I want one.
So my brain wants to understand the exchange here. Because, and this could be, it's not, no, you're doing great. But because I told you, I'm going to ask a bunch of stupid questions. Yeah. Because this dynamic, I think, like, my relationship with my partner is very egalitarian. Like, we're equals. Like, I don't ever feel like I'm giving for the sake of giving, and I'm not receiving for the sake of receiving. I'm receiving being like, well, I deserve this, and I'm giving being like, you deserve this. So there's that exchange happening.
So you speak on, you're like, you tell him the things that you need?
Yeah.
And the things that you feel like you deserve, you'll say that?
100%.
How will you say that?
I need you to step up in these areas. I need to not worry about this. I need to be able to take my brain off this thing. I need more affection. I need more love.
I can relate to this a lot, actually, what Shan is saying right now. Well, in a way, I've started doing this, right? Because I can say that I haven't really, because I was going to say I haven't been the best at expressing what I need from people, but honestly, I do think I have expressed what I needed to express to people in the past. It's just that those particular people in my life at that time just weren't receptive to it. But I have been making it a point to, you know, like advocating for yourself. I think advocating for yourself, especially in a relationship or a friendship, is really important because, again, like, your needs are just as important as anybody else's. And I think it's important, especially if you feel like you aren't getting what you need out of the relationship, to express, hey, I need this, I need that. And for me, right, it's like I allow my partner to do that. If he needs more from me in whatever area needs improvement, I try to show up in those areas. And then if I need more of something, whether it's, again, more affection, more attention, more reassurance, more quality time, more whatever the case may be, I do try to express that and say, hey, I haven't really been feeling the best about our relationship because it's missing these things. I kind of need you to work on it. And so I guess that equal exchange would fit more into Shan's relationship style. So that's interesting.
We're going to be sexual. Here's the things that I need to, like, feel more sexual. And in return, I invite that. Like, yeah. So we have a lot of conversations.
How does he receive it well?
I think everybody has a problem with being told that they're not doing enough, because we always go to, like, well, I'm already doing X, Y, and Z. Right. So I think that there can be, I wouldn't say that he's always arms wide open, but he always adjusts. But so I guess when I'm listening to your relationship style, I'm like, if we kind of broke it down into, like, to-dos specifically, like, what does a submissive woman do for her man?
Everything.
What does that mean?
Like packing his bag, unpacking his bag, just making sure all the things that he wants. And, like, I pretty much read his mind. So it's like, if I know you.
Okay, see, that's a little much about reading his mind. But again, y'all are gonna drag me in the comments. But no, like, I'm again, I just do these things naturally. Like, sometimes I'll just think, well, I guess that's what she means by reading his mind. But no, like, I guess because she said, like, she does everything that her man wants. Sometimes I find myself doing things that person didn't even expect for me to do, or, was wanting me to do. Like, I just did it, right? Whether it was, again, randomly getting them food, or even, like, doing their laundry. Like, there's just certain things that I just would think to do out of, again, the kindness of my heart and me wanting to make that person happy. And so, yeah, I'm kind of like that as well.
And I study you. Like, I know how you are in the morning. I know how you are about midday.
That's enough. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I keep pausing. Y'all are probably so annoyed with me right now. But no, like, even that too, like, her studying him. Like, for me, right, I'm a Scorpio. And so for me as a Scorpio, we like to analyze people a lot. And that's something that I do a lot in my relationships. I will analyze people. And so I will have you figured out quickly. I know how you, like she said, how you're like in the morning, at night. I can tell, like, even, like, I can even pick up on, like, different inflections in their voice. I can tell when they're irritated. I can tell when they're upset, even if they're trying to hide it in the best way possible. I can tell when they're, when they're checked out. I can tell if they're really interested in something or invested into something or passionate about something. Like, I can pick up on all the little mannerisms that come with being with someone relatively quickly, because, again, I pay attention to those things. I pay attention to, like, the little things. But I wouldn't say that's a trait of being submissive. I just think that's a trait of being attentive and being very intentional about learning your partner.
I know when you're in this mood, what you need. Like, before you can ever ask me for something, I'm already on it. I mean, he's spoiled. And, when I talk to my girlfriends about it, I was like, oh, how you guys doing? And I'm just like, girl, he's rotten. I'm like, he's spoiled rotten. Like, he's rotten. But I love that. Like, I want him to be that. I think my biggest flex is how I treat my man. You know what I mean? And my biggest flex should be how I treat myself, which is, so it's kind of fucked up. It's kind of messed up.
What are you getting from all that you're giving? What are you asking for in return?
What's interesting, and you saw my reaction when I was like, you say that? You asked for that? You know what I mean? I think that I have gotten better at saying the things that I need, but if I don't get it the first time, I don't like to say it again.
So would you do what you're doing for a broke dude?
That's a good question.
Broke?
Requires your financial support as well.
No.
Interesting.
No. I think to be broke.
Hold on. Let's talk about that. But hold on. What did she say? What did she say before that? What did Shan asked her? What is she getting out of it? Like I said, for me, right? Like I get joy out of making other people happy. Like when other people around me aren't happy, it does affect me, and so I get happiness out of making other people happy and doing stuff for other people. Because I've noticed too with a lot of, I feel like more people have a harder time doing for other people. Like they have to like convince themselves and make themselves be like, okay, well, let me go ahead and do this, for this particular person. Like I noticed like people have to like, that sounds kind of bad, but some people have to like bring themselves to do for other people. But for me, it's nothing. Like I can do it in the blink of an eye. And if anything, I have to hold myself back from doing so much for other people. But the broke thing, right? Because that's interesting. She said that she wouldn't do that for someone that she had to financially support, which I think is fair. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just find it very interesting because, again, like, I don't know, with where I am in life, I don't expect a guy my age to necessarily have it all together. Usually when you're dating men that are like, I don't know, in their 30s and 40s, you would expect that because they're more so established in their careers and they should be financially stable. But when you're like in your early 20s and you're in college, everybody's broke. Everybody's struggling. And so for me, I never looked at finances as a determining factor of whether or not I should cater to somebody. And so, I've been in a situation before where I made more money than the person that I was with, and that didn't determine how much I loved them or how much I did for them. I didn't judge them based off of that. And so that's interesting that she said that money actually does play a factor in how submissive she is to her significant other.
Still a great lover, still very romantic, still very emotionally supportive. But I'm just like asking about,
I wouldn't even know that. I wouldn't even know that he's all those things. Because I think there's a lot of people who are financially stable who are broke-minded, and I can't get down with that either.
So let me just clarify the question. What are the requirements from a man to bring to Jazzy in order to get this level of love from you?
Right.
I think it's how you make me feel. I have to feel safe with you emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
You have to excite me. I need edge. So all this cute, soft shit that I need him to be emotionally this, I do need that. But I also need some edge. And I also need a man that is like, like I am a submissive. So like, in a way, my love language in sex is like, I like for you to tell me what to do. So sometimes it's like, Jazz, sit your ass down somewhere. It's like, oh, shit.
No, this is where I disagree. This is where I disagree. And again, I know a lot of women that, have that same sentiment. Like, they like a little something. Nope. Give me a teddy bear. I will say it all day long. I love when a man is sweet and soft and kind. I will take that all day, every day, 24/7. I don't need you to argue with me. I don't need you to get an attitude with me or tell me what to do. No, I don't need none of that. I don't need no edge. I don't need no none of that. Give me the soft, sweet, kind, like gentle soul. Give me that. I will take that all day long. Hands down. Yeah, I disagree with that.
What I do? Let me sit down, but it's like someone who is a very, you can be emotional and be soft and things.
But yeah, what she was saying about needing to feel that emotional support and to feel safe and catered to and all that, that's also very important as well. To have someone that's also your safe space, and you can also, be emotional and be vulnerable to them as well. I think that it is important that they provide that space for you so that you can feel as though you can cater to them.
Like that, but I still need you to have a little sprinkle of that edge.
Do you need an alpha male?
Yes, only. And you know, and I think men are confused on if they are or not. And if you are confused, you're not one.
Mm-hmm. What is an alpha man?
I think in my experience of an alpha male, it is somebody who is respected. You know, walks in the room and everybody just kind of like feels their presence.
Some people can interpret submissiveness as like anything goes, like I'll put up with anything.
No way. I mean, like, I think anything goes for sure if you're comfortable with the person. Because I'm doing shit I never did before. I'm just like, I would have never done this, but you know what? I'm comfortable with this person and I feel safe.
Do you have an example?
Oh.
You're like, have an example? Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say I could relate, but not to that. Not to that necessarily. But yeah, like finding yourself doing things for someone that you never thought that you would do. So many things that I'm like before I was like, you know, I would never do that or consider doing that. But then again, like she said, once you get comfortable with someone and they, you know, provide that space for you to be vulnerable, sometimes you do find yourself doing things for someone that you're like, bro, I would have never did this before.
That.
Do you do it for you or do you do it for them?
I do it for him because for me, I'm not at a place where I like it yet. We had one successful time where I was like, okay, you know, my butt cramped.
Knowing what your values are, knowing what your role in the relationship
and yes, I'm aware that Shan talks about this stuff. That just caught me off guard.
Is being joyful about it, because that's also a big part of it too. Yeah. But I would assume that there is a line where it can get dangerous and chaotic.
Yeah.
So when you think about that, like as a submissive person, what do you have to be mindful of to ensure you're not being taken advantage of?
Lovers and friends.
Okay, I'm assuming that was it. Yeah, that was it. Very interesting video. Like I said, I actually can relate to her relationship style. Like again, like that's just naturally how I am, and so I'm not judging her. But the internet is the entire internet is judging her for being this way. I know people are gonna come for me. Granted, I wouldn't say that I'm like her 100%. I do think there are some areas where I'm like, not so much. But yeah, for the most part, like, you know, her saying that when she's in a relationship, she likes to cater to her partner. She likes to do things, cook, clean, make sure that, you know, he has everything, you know, and, you know, putting her partner first. I do that, and I don't know, maybe that's why I'm single. Maybe that's why I'm single now. But I don't know, like I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with, you know, wanting to make sure that your partner is happy in every shape and form. I don't think there's anything wrong, because again, like that's her love language. Her love language could just be, you know, acts of service. Like that's just the way that she shows love, and that's the same thing for me. I show my love and appreciation for someone by doing things for them and, you know, making sure that they're okay and making sure that I can show up for them in every single way. But as Shan brought up, and as the internet has brought up, a lot of the times that can lead you to feeling depleted. And I can be honest and say that has made me feel, or I've had a lot of moments, again, in friendships as well, but also in relationships where I felt drained a lot, because it just felt like I'm always doing so much. I'm always doing so much for everybody else. But then it's like, well, who's showing up for me? It's like when people are going through their things, I'm always there to let them vent. I give them advice if asked for it. I'm always an emotional support system when people are going through tough times. But then I don't always feel that same thing in return. Or even like, again, when it comes to doing favors, I can honestly say, and this is no shade to anybody, people don't really be doing favors for me like that. And I hate asking people for stuff because of how people usually react. Like, I've been in so many situations over the years where I've asked someone to do something for me, and it's never, they're never happy to do it. It's never like a willing, like yes, like I would love to do this for you. It's always like, okay, I guess, or, you know, oh, well, I'm gonna be a little bit busy, but, you know, I'll see what I can do. Like, it's never like they actually want to do it. it's just that they're like, okay, like, you know, you've been there for me, so I guess I'll do this one little favor for you. But it just never feels like genuine or like they actually want to do it. And so with me feeling like that, I can see, like, I can see both sides. I can see Jasmine's side, I can see the internet side. And I'm not gonna lie, for me it does get draining. And you know, because I even, like, I literally had this revelation the other day. I'm like, bro, like, I'm always spending money on people, right? I'm always spending money on people. I offer to buy people food. I give people money for food all the time, or gas. I you know, like, I do those things. But then I really like to sit back and think, like, when was the last time someone bought me food? You know, when was the last time someone offered to pay for my food and I didn't have to cash out them back immediately after, you know? Or even like with birthdays, like, I go out of my way for people's birthdays. I spend a lot of money, but also put a lot of time, thought, and effort into getting people gifts for their birthday. But then I just sit back and think, you know, people don't really be getting me gifts like that for my birthday. And I'm not saying that that's like required or anything, but I'm just saying, like, in terms of the way that I show up and show out for other people, I don't usually get that back in return. And if I do, it's like 5% back in return. And even that, it just seems like it's a lot for people to do. And so yeah, I can see both sides. You know, and it's weird. It's a weird thing to be someone that is very giving to everyone and gets, you know, it's like you get fulfillment out of that, and you don't do it necessarily thinking that you're going to get something back in return. But eventually you're like, okay, I've been doing a lot for you. When am I going to, because you do need that back in return just in general. And so it's not so much like you're doing all of this to get all of it back in return, but it's like there's got to be something that I'm getting from the situation. It can't just be me giving. But then when I need you to give, it's like, oh, sorry, I can't, or, you know, I don't want to, don't feel like it, don't have the capacity to. It just gets very hard to, you know, constantly do that. And so yeah, but I think this was a great conversation. Definitely check out the whole podcast episode if you can. I don't think, Shan doesn't post the entire videos for the whole podcast episodes. Unfortunately, I really wish that she did. But if you guys want to hear the whole thing in its entirety, make sure you guys check out her podcast, Lovers and Friends. And I'm a really big fan of Shan as well. I watch her videos all the time. And yeah, but let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Which relationship style you guys gravitate towards the most. Do you guys agree with what Jasmine said? Do you heavily disagree with what Jasmine said? Let me know your guys' thoughts about this video, this topic, what I had to say in the comments down below. If you guys enjoyed this reaction, make sure you guys give it a big thumbs up. And comment down below what other videos you guys would like for me to react to. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.